The judge reprimanded Trump's legal team for their repetitive and frivolous questioning of the former accountant of the Trump Organization during the civil fraud trial of the ex-president. New York Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engoron, who is presiding over the trial, firmly reminded Trump's lawyers that they were not permitted to waste time with such tactics. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to be notified when we post great videos. Let us know your possible suggestions by leaving your comments below. On Wednesday, Trump's attorney Jesus M. Suarez continued to cross-examine Donald Bender, an external accountant who had prepared the financial statements of the Trump Organization until 2020. The New York Attorney General's office, which initiated the lawsuit, had already questioned Bender the previous day. Suarez focused on whether Bender, rather than Trump and his children, should be held accountable for the statements, which the Attorney General's office claimed contained inflated valuations used to fraudulently secure bank loans. This line of questioning mirrored the strategy employed by the Trump Organization's legal team in a previous criminal trial, where they attempted to shift blame onto Bender. Suarez asked, ultimately, "The responsibility lies with you, correct?" Bender emphasized in response to multiple questions that he and his accounting firm, Maga, were responsible for compiling the documents, while the Trump Organization was responsible for providing the market value and liabilities of each property. Engoron was keen to expedite proceedings, as the trial is scheduled to continue until late December. At one point on Wednesday morning, Suarez presented a list of 200 corporate sub-entities of the Trump Organization, many of which appeared to be specific apartment corporations, and proceeded to ask the same set of questions regarding Bender's involvement with each one. "May we come to a consensus that the questions and answers will remain consistent for each of the aforementioned matters?" inquired Engoron, expressing annoyance. Bender confirmed that the answers would indeed be the same for all of them, and they proceeded accordingly. After a brief period, Suarez meticulously examined the financial statements for each year of Bender's extensive involvement with the Trump Organization, posing identical inquiries for each one. "Are we to go through every single year?" queried Engoron. "No, I will not permit such an endeavor," Engoron responded. Engoron then inquired of Bender whether his response would remain unchanged for each year. Upon receiving an affirmative answer from Bender, Engoron instructed Suarez to proceed. "What distinction exists?" questioned Engoron. "Goodness gracious." The attorneys representing Trump and his two eldest sons, who are co-defendants in this case, engaged in a debate with the judge. They contended that the Attorney General's office had a duty to present a case of wrongdoing for each individual year, and that their cross-examination had exposed the lack thereof. Engoron deemed the process to be inefficient. He stated that all the testimony could be encompassed by simply confirming whether Bender's answers would be identical for each year. He stated that the answer would be the same every year, remarked Engoron. This statement provided a momentary respite from an otherwise monotonous day of testimony. Trump observed attentively, seated between his lawyers Alina Haber and Chris Keiss. Eric Trump, responsible for the day-to-day operations at the Trump Organization, peered forward from the audience gallery. "Are you addressing me, the press, or your audience?" Engoron questioned Keiss when he presented his argument. Kevin C. Wallace, an attorney from the Attorney General's office, seemed to insinuate that Suarez was deliberately prolonging the trial for Trump's benefit. "There is no jury," he informed the judge. "I am unsure who they are performing for." Shortly thereafter, Suarez embarked on another series of year-by-year questions. "Dear Counselor, I do not speak merely for the sake of hearing my own voice," Engoron stated, halting the questioning. Suarez assured that he would conclude his inquiries with Bender by the day's end. The press gallery responded with uneasy laughter. "This is preposterous. As a journalist, I am once again banging the gavel," Engoron declared. "It is futile to scrutinize each line if the witness will provide the same response for each one. My request is simply that you consolidate matters to avoid squandering time," he added. "That's what we have for you today. What did you think of our video? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe, like and hit that share button.